Hello and welcome back to Suspended Fanimation. I'm your host, Dennis Bithoulkas, and it's time for Andor Season 1, Episode 6, The Eye. Sorry, I fell asleep while talking about that. Welcome, everybody. Let me take care of some business first, and we'll get down to it. If you like what you see here, like, share, and subscribe. If you're still on the fence about subscribing, take a look at the video that pops up at the very end here. YouTube takes the algorithms of all the stuff you've been watching and tries to match it as best as possible to one of the videos in my vast video library and pops it up here just for you. And if you like what you see there, if you can, please hit that subscribe button and also hit that like button, the share button as well. And if you want to know when I'm going to be on live again next, go over to suspendedfanimation.com. Take a look at the schedule I have up there. I change it out every week. Also have all the links to my social media there and all the links to my pages. You can hit that bell down below there, and it's a 50-50 chance of YouTube notifying you when I come on live. So best thing to do is go over suspendedfanimation.com. So let's get to it, shall we? Spoiler alert, I am going to spoil the episode. If you have not seen the episode, go and watch it. Come on back. This will be a video. You can comment down below in the comment section. All right? Yes, no, maybe so. So I'm going to flat out say right now what this series is missing is an editor. That's what it needs, is a really good editor. This really should be episode 3 of 6, not 6 of 12. Yeah, I was just kind of going back over this. This episode is perfectly fine as a heist episode, and uh, but all the previous episodes leading up to this, it seems like navel gazing and just really uh, Tarantino-esque in a way of just going on and on and on and on and on without editing down the content. This would probably be a first draft of a script and should have been edited down to at least 6 or 7 more times, maybe even 10 more times in order to get it down to a manageable level. It should have never gotten to this point where you're having, the heist happen in episode 6. And again, your lead character, the character that the series is named after, Andor, is barely in this. He's in it, but there is nothing that is. We're in episode 6, and we still really don't have any character building in all of this. We really don't know what the character is about in a series where we're supposed to get to learn about a character who's going to die in, a movie that we've already seen. That's what I'm getting at here. Is why are we doing this? uh yeah, it's hmm, eh. And the thing is, I had to think, I asked myself this question after I watched the episode, and I'm like, is it really worth it, quite honestly, with what we're watching here? And the answer is no, it really isn't. This is uh this would be left better to a Star Wars novelization, something like that. That, frankly, you'd have your own niche group of people that would read it, but Star Wars fans in general, I would say, aren't going to gravitate towards this. This is, and yes, I know it's supposed to be Star Wars without Star Wars, but this is just really fucking boring. That's all I'm going to say. Raymond says, I thought it was clear that the point of the show was to show the beginning of the revolutions and the motivations of the key players involved. Um, was it, or was it supposed to be about the character himself? That's the whole thing. I mean, even so, showing the beginnings of the revolution or the rebellion. We have other shows that have done that already. I mean, we have Star Wars Rebels. I mean, this is again, you still could have edited a good majority of this out and not even focused on Andor and still gotten your I don't know, your point across about the early stages of the rebellion and how it came to being. Honestly, if they had focused more on Mon Mothma, that would have been a better point of series. Honestly, you could have had the entire series revolve around her on Coruscant, and you could have still had Stellan Skarsgård's character in there, bringing in other players, Luthen Rail coming in. Uh, yeah, Andor was just really unnecessary for what it seems like. I mean, it just he feels like an unnecessary character. So anyway, with that said, going into the episode, we get the heist that happens. Of course, we see the eye ceremony of what's going to happen, and I did like the fact that Lieutenant Gorn is translating the words of the chieftain to the sergeant, and was the sergeant or the captain. Uh, so basically, the chieftain told Gorn to say, "Hey, the bones of our ancestors, the ghosts of our ancestors are going to strangle the Empire," is what he said. And instead, Gorn goes, he just wanted to say that the Eye welcomes you and good luck for another year, kind of thing. And I love how the chieftain kind of looks at him like he knows that he didn't say the right thing, and he's kind of pissed about it, but doesn't get involved in all of that. That was actually an interesting little moment, but again, just really drawn out for no fucking good reason whatsoever. Um, at the end of this heist, of course, pretty much the only people that are left alive are, Andor, um, Vel, and I can't remember Vel's girlfriend. Now all of a sudden I'm blanking on her name. Uh, uh, Cinta. There we go. Cinta. So they're the only ones that are left alive. Honestly, I don't know what happened to Lieutenant Gorn. I couldn't tell if he died in the firefight, if he stayed behind, what happened. I kind of lost him in that whole firefight thing, and I don't know if they really told us what happened to him or really showed us what happened. But there you go. Um, Also, the whole thing of throwing in that Tamarin uh, was an ex-stormtrooper at the last minute. They just kind of throw it in, but he was an ex-stormtrooper, didn't you know? What Skeen throws in there, and I'm like, okay, great, that's nice, thanks, man. Way to kind of gild the lily even further at this point. Yeah. Oh, Gorn was shot. Okay, yeah, okay, that's where we go. Yeah. So at the end, of course, Skeen wanting to steal the 80 million or so credits that's on board the ship, and Andor just not having it. He basically is showing that he's a man of honor, and of course he kills Skeen and tells Vel, I'm just taking what I was promised. Give the Kyber crystal back to Luthen. I'm out of here. That's it. And that's all he really wanted. That's all he really wanted to do. And the whole thing with Skeen having lied about his brother, not having a brother, all that kind of stuff. Eh, eh, that's all I can say. Um, and then, of course, going back to Mon Mothma in the Senate, she's presenting her case for the this group of people that are going to be starving. And again, this is something that we've seen in other. I believe in the movie, she was actually fighting for this as well. Rogue One, if I remember correctly, and I mean, talk about beating a horse to death on this one. It really is. This is just beating a dead horse, honestly, at this point. This whole thing is an exercise in why. Why the fuck are we doing this? Is really what it is. Yeah, I'm really I want to like the series. I really do, but I don't. I really don't. It's just boring. And it seems to be pointless for the most part. The focus could have been someplace else. It would have been a better show. And also, if it had been 6 episodes instead of 12, you could have tightened that up a bit more too and run with it a little bit further. Raymond says, after the episode, I thought Skeen was manipulating Andor by telling him about the stormtrooper to make it easier to kill him if they needed to. He could have been lying about that too. Yeah, he could have been. He really could have been. But it didn't make any difference anyway because, I mean, uh, he died anyway. Um, and Tamarin, of course, died, trying to protect Vel. And then also the kid, you know, who was writing the manifesto, Nemec, ends up giving the manifesto to, he wants Andor to have it. And people are speculating that this is the rebels' Bible, if you will, or their manuscript, which is honestly, I really don't care. I'm sorry to say that's going down into the minutia. That's going down into like navel gazing for belly button lint at that point. It's yeah, you really don't need to drill down to that kind of minutia in Star Wars. Um, that's like saying, "Hey, how is blue milk produced? Is it homogenized or is it pasteurized? How do we go through the process of making blue milk?" That's literally what this is an industrial film. Mm. The Rebel Manifesto will be available on Amazon soon. Yeah, it probably should be. I'm not surprised. I'm sure Entertainment Earth will actually have it or something like that, and it'll be really stupid. But yeah, people have paid more money for really more stupid stuff. Collectibles. I have two. You can see around me. I mean, come on. That right there. That alone. Why did I buy it? Because I was at Disneyland. And yeah. And let me tell you, plastic in 100-degree weather does warm up really, really fucking fast. So you really don't want that. Oh, it'll be at both the Disney store and Amazon, don't you worry. And it'll also be over at Entertainment Earth, like I said. And it'll be over at any other novelty, stores, anything like that, comic book stores, things of that nature. So we've broken this series now into um Andor's early life, then him on the run and Ferrex, or you know, what the fuck is that name? Mon Morlana. Yeah, so Morlana, planet Morlana there. And now of course he is on Aldani. Um excuse me, doing the heist. So we've broken this into three parts now at this point, and all three are equally boring. Um, I'm waiting to see what we're getting if we're going to get to the good stuff here. If we're going to get something good out of this, if this is just going to be again just a slow masturbatory kind of effort uh in this yeah, that's what it feels like. It really does. Raymond says, I don't necessarily disagree with you, but I am loving the show and all the drama, plus the TIE fighter chase scene. The TIE fighter chase scene really wasn't a chase scene, Raymond. I just thought it was more of a video game kind of dodging scene. And I'm not trying to, if people love this series, I'm not trying to dissuade you from loving this series. You go ahead and love the series. This is just one opinion, right? And I'm not digging it. I'm telling you how I'm not digging it and not any of this. But again, if you guys are liking it, go for it. That's what differences are all about. And again, if everyone liked everything all the time, we would have some really homogenized bullshit out there. So yeah, that's why we have different stuff going on. So with that said, I'm not looking forward to next week, quite honestly, because right now it's kind of like this is where the series should have ended. That's as far as I'm concerned, this feels like the ending of the series. The way they ended it here at episode 6 was Andor completes the heist, gets his money, takes off, and the rebels end up getting their money. Um, and they're gonna use that money for whatever things they need to purchase to defeat the empire. That's pretty much where it feels like it left off and where the series should be done. and then you can go into the second season. But no, we have 6 more episodes to go on all of this. I'm gonna play it by ear next week and see if I'm still perturbed in episode 7, if it just, y is a slow churn into nothing. I might not cover it, and I might just stop at that point just because, right now, it's not enough for me to I'm not hate watching it at the moment, but I am complaining enough about it right now where, and I'm hearing myself complain about it, obviously. So, um, yeah, I don't wanna be one of those YouTubers that just drones on and on about, the patriarchy or the matriarchy or, and, those darn women, or anything like that, because that's bullshit. So, there you have it. So what else do I have going on for the rest of this week? Well, oh, tomorrow, thankfully, we have She-Hulk, but unfortunately, it's the season finale of She-Hulk. So yes, we have She-Hulk next week, or excuse me, tomorrow. Next week. Tomorrow is going to be She-Hulk, the season finale, and there's also going to be a little contest involved too. So stay tuned for that. Friday is going to be both episodes 7 and 8 of Lord of the Rings: The Rings of Power, which again is a season finale. So we're going to be the season finale of that. Saturday, I'm going to be off. Sunday will be another episode of it'll be the Sunday edition of Saturday Morning Blast Off, where I take the genre news of the week and any other genre stuff you guys want to talk about. We talk about it. Monday will be House of the Dragon. Tuesday will be is another episode of Is It Worth My Time? I don't know what I'm doing as of yet. I did watch Chainsaw Man, or at least the first episode of Chainsaw Man on Hulu, which is an animated anime series that the first episode just dropped on. I might cover that. It depends on what comes out this weekend. We'll see what happens. And then, of course, Wednesday we roll back around to Andor with an asterisk next to it, depending on how much it pisses me off. Or doesn't, shall we say. So that's where we're at on all of this. So, with that said, thank you, everybody who joined me tonight in the chat, and thank you if you made it this far in the video. If you're still on the fence about subscribing, take a look at the video that pops up at the very end here. YouTube takes the algorithms of all the stuff you've been watching and tries to match it as best as possible to one of the videos in my vast video library and pops it up here just for you. And if y'all like what you see there, hit that subscribe button down below there if you can, please. And also, if you can, hit that like button and the share button as well. And if you want to know when I'm going to be on live again next, go over to suspendedfanimation.com, like Penn has up there in the in the chat there, and take a look at what I've got up there. My schedule's up there. I change it every week. Also, I have all the links to my social media and all the links to my pages there as well. Penn says I'm still liking it more than Boba Fett. Yeah, I am liking this more than Boba Fett as well. Not by much. Honestly, it's almost on the same par. Again, it just needs an editor. It really feels Tarantino-esque to me in a way that for me, Quentin Tarantino has always needed an editor, like a real good editor, not the one that he uses, because the one that he uses likes to indulge him and let shit run on too long. And that's where I feel this is it runs on way too long in scenes, and honestly should have some shit cut out and just dropped completely, because it's inconsequential. It's not adding to anything. And it's just, like I said, masturbatory. It really is. So, all right. With that said, I'm going to leave you on that note. Thanks, everyone. I will see you again tomorrow for She-Hulk, the season finale of She-Hulk. Until then, don't let the door hit your ass on the way out. Otherwise, you may end up, trying to be involved in a heist, and instead you end up with a manifesto and a couple of credits to your name. And I don't know. So it's a long, drawn out process in what should have been episode 3 and not episode 6. Thanks, everybody. I will see you again tomorrow. Have a good rest of your night. Stay safe, be well, take care, wear those masks, get those vaccine shots, get the boosters as well. COVID's still running rampant out there, everyone. Thank you, and I will see you again tomorrow. Have a good rest of your night. Take care, everyone. Good night.